You may or may not have heard, but Awakening at the Wynn is now going to be closing its doors, I believe in October. And so a mass layoff of a show of this nature is significant in the industry and is not uncommon for folks like me that, have been working here and existing in this economy for a very long time. It's very unfortunate. I know so many of the performers there, and many of you may know that we were working behind the scenes to actually organize Awakening with our advocacy effort that we've been leading now for the past 6 years here locally. And I just thought, maybe had they organized, maybe the show could have been saved. Maybe it wouldn't have been the mess that I know that it was, a very expensive one. And that, workers and performers that are depending on that great job, with benefits, with good pay, would have been able to keep and sustain. They are now all thrust back into the market. And I was just speaking to some of the performers in the show just the other day, and they were, asking for my feedback and everything. And what do you think about this? The show going to close? And, what do you think from everything that we're hearing? And I said, I'd start sending out resumes. That was my advice as someone who's been around for a very long time. You can just tell me a few things, and I know beyond a shadow of a doubt if a show, if you got a future, if you've got somewhere to go, or if you need to stop waiting for the show to let you know eventually, because everyone always knows, right? The people that are very well connected, that are cleaning themselves up from the back, from behind the scenes, they are already moving on, while you are praying and hoping that you're going to be extended for another 6 months to a year. And so it's very hard when you feel like you are caught off guard and you don't know. So for everybody also too, everyone knows different things in a show. Some people might really already know, some people really don't know, and some people are holding on and having faith. But you know what? We don't need faith. We need policy. The local industry needs to unionize. It needs to come together. We need a better benefits program. We have a bill. We have the Circus Workers and Performers Safety and Specialty Act. That's our labor bill. Everyone knows as well that we just got our other workforce bill introduced by 2 members of Congress here in the state of Nevada. That took us 6 years to get that introduced. And it was painstaking. And, we have been pushing for these bills on a state, local, and federal level, right? Wherever it sticks first, because there needs to be more provisions. And there was a multitude of issues, within this show. I would have hoped that they would have just revamped, right? Maybe condense the show for a bit, maybe put it on pause for a while, but bring it back, furlough some folks, hopefully you are able to keep your health insurance, go on to unemployment for for a little while, and then just like stay on your feet while you're either working at other jobs locally, or if you're not able to find anything, in this industry with so many workers, and this is so many different types of workers. It's not just who's on the stage. These are working folks that some will be able to get an opportunity right away. Many might be thrust out of the state. We may lose many of these workers and entertainers and professionals for a long time. And then also too, many may be thrust onto benefits. I have had this conversation many times with folks when I say it's not who you think is on SNAP and on Medicaid. Right? Many local performers and entertainers that do not get any benefits when these shows close, or even while they're in the show, no matter what kind of show you think there is, or how many millions of dollars these shows say that they are worth. Many, sometimes they don't even have a living wage, and are risking their lives every single day and go on SNAP benefits and go on Medicaid. So, this is a very taboo topic, unfortunately, in our industry. That's why we've been working the last 6 years to make it not a taboo topic. Right? In an ever-evolving economy, in a destabilized economy where we are reliant on tourism, and putting people in seats to sell tickets. But not even just that. It's just also to the mismanaging of shows, the mismanaging of budgets, the mismanaging of workers' benefits and rights, right? I heard, so many things around this contract, and folks that were let go unceremoniously, or told to go on workman's comp, and then eventually petered off and taken away, and no longer having access to their jobs. And it's for me, in terms of being outspoken and speaking about the things, again, I always say publicly, that we are usually speaking to in the industry behind the scenes, and not outwardly, because of the fear that everyone has. If no one will hire me if I say anything that's the truth. No one will want me to go to another contract. But these shows, I have to just talk about the serious implications of these shows and how they benefit certain people and not others, right? When people get these contracts, the people that are putting on these shows, they get so well connected locally. They can hire and do whatever they want, right? They get access to contracts like F1, for example, and then ask the performers to work at a discount or for free. Who should be working for free at F1? No one. No one. $1 million contracts that are here to benefit and stabilize the economy, diversify the economy. But you also have to look at the tiers of who it is representing and who makes out when these contracts get into certain hands. And we need to work on that. But we have a labor bill. The answer to these issues, everyone, is not getting another job, is not another show opening, is not going on America's Got Talent, hoping that, you can maybe get like 10,000 more followers, you get to the finals. That is not the answer to these issues. The answer to these issues is labor, right? It's getting yourself a contract that is solid, that's something that you can fall back on, that you have a full safety net around. That is what is going to change this industry, something that we've actually never had before. So everyone that says, oh, I'm so sad, like this is never going to solve that issue, you've never seen it. You don't know that. And it's protecting a lot of people. When you say that it doesn't work, well, it's because you haven't been in it enough to see something that works from our perspective and our vision, labor from our perspective, right? There are those of us, many educated and very smart people in this industry that have been in the industry for years, that can speak to how labor can represent us properly. That's what part of this run for state assembly is about. For me, working class people, workers on and off the strip, that cannot make a living wage, that do not have benefits, that are in non-traditional employment, that are not W-2'd employees, that are independent contractors, will continue to be, and do not have anything to catch them when they fall, no matter how prepared or how well they are maintaining their lives. When you look at the fact that our salaries have not gone up in over 20 years in most of these shows, yet the cost of living continues to go up, we need to answer to that, and we can do that in the industry by coming together. So that is my little rant on that, because I know so many of you come to me for support and for help, but you need to take the help that we are actually offering and stop looking to things that will not support you or help you. There needs to be a different solution to these issues. It's not just about another show opening. It's not about running away and going on tour. It's not about getting another coaching job. It's not about any of those things. I know, because I've been around for a very long time and know everyone that's been around longer before that. It's not about starting another nonprofit. It's not about, opening up another school. It's not about making another, partnership with another very flashy place. No, it's about having accountability from the inside out and from the bottom up, not the top down.